Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Vibe 25 podcast. As you can see, we have three beautiful, sexy, handsome men here.
On purpose.
We have some very handsome guys here, and it's kind of like a continuation of Men in Dance. If you would have watched podcast 4, we had DuWayne. But he was in Manchester at that time. You were in London?
London.
We had Thorn and Justin. However, today we have Kevon Hall, Sergio Charles, and again, DuWayne Hinds. And today is about the multifaceted dancers. So these are guys that would have started out dancing, and then they went on to some type of art, whether it be fine art, graphic art, drama, like theater, and music. So I said, why are these guys still not dancing? What's up? Like, we need to see more guys in the field of dancing. And I realized that they were blooming in whatever they were doing in their facet, whether it be like PM Splash or like designing by 25 logo and going on Broadway in Lion King. So, I mean, I just wanted to know what inspired them to start dancing as a female, 1. And 2, why did you switch? Like, we need to know why are you not contributing to the arts. So, before we go on, guys, I just want you to introduce yourselves. You can start with Kevon and then go on. I don't know if you want me to call you Kevon or Vaughn.
Well, it's fine. Kevon is fine.
And then you could just introduce
If my
yourselves.
mom is watching this, Kevon is fine.
Yeah, so just give me a short little something, and then we could go more into detail a little later.
Okay, so my name is Kevon, and I call myself Vaughn for my artist name. It honestly sounds more profound, like Kevon Hall. And 4 years ago, I created a movement for creatives, and we called it PM Splash. We wanted creatives to feel like they have an opportunity to bloom here. It was a stigma of this starving artist, and you're an artist is a hobby, and we wanted to destroy that kind of mindset, and give the name of artist some kind of elite title. So we created a movement, PM Splash, which is
PM Splash. That never
which
started
is
at
4
6.
guys, but we are just a face. But really, it's for all creatives to operate. So it's kind of just like a vehicle moving forward. And we try to bring as many creatives as possible on board. So that's our mission.
When's your next event?
We're looking at the 19th, if possible, of this month.
Awesome.
Nice.
Good.
Sounds good.
Sergio?
Hey, my name is Sergio. People call me Gio.
Right. Everybody got like an artist name. What's up with me?
What's your artist name?
Max.
It's true.
Mix.
Yeah.
People call me Gio. Something about me. I am very easygoing, chill. I don't like to fuss a lot. I consider myself. I know people used to say, like, if you are a jack of all trades, you could be a master of none. I hate that. Like, so,
still do all.
yeah, I try to slap that in the face. So I think everything has seasons. So, I mean, I was a dancer at one point. I was a photographer. I was a videographer. I was a producer, producing music. I was a graphic designer, but I am a graphic designer right now. And, yeah.
What's the name of your brand that's up there?
Yeah, this is Wisdom.
Okay.
Wisdom, yeah. So you could check that out on IG.
Awesome.
Nice.
No shame plug.
Hey guys, my name is DuWayne, and I consider myself a creative mind, a creative being, because from a very young age, for me, just seeing this world was always very different. Like, I feel like I just always used to see things as sounds or frequencies or colors or movement. And sometimes that could be from just a conversation or interaction. So for me, it became hard. Like, the traditional school setting was just kind of weird for me. So I always found myself in a creative space. That, though, became an issue because then all of this creativity, I'm like, what do I call it? Where do I put myself? And the world already trying to put you in a box, right? Yeah. So I'm like, which box do I fit into? So I feel like after a while, as I grew, I also realized, that I am just that being. And just as you said, like, it's all about phases, and then it took me not getting into a music program to realize that I can do so much more than just music.
Yeah.
And
but you started with dance first, though.
That's what I'm saying. I started off with dance, but in my mind, like I just wanted to do so much. I got influence, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to act. I like drama. I like painting. I like photos. I'm like, oh my gosh, I probably got to go to school to do this first, whatever the case is. But it turned out that I just did it on my own. And out of that, I created what was my first, I guess, creative venture, which was my musical EP, Breathe. And from that, I turned it into a brand, lifestyle, which I continue to walk. And as the brand grows as well, I grow as well, because for me, it's in alignment. And right now, Breathe Creative Space is really a space for people who are creative to know and not just understand that the arts isn't just here to, you know, make you feel good or like make you laugh, but it also adds something to who you are as a person. And it's developed us to who we are as, you know, civilization today. So then as an individual man, then you have to see you're playing that as well. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Good. That's good. Now you're into like candles, yoga.
Yes. I am right now. Actually, today I was like trying to like last night rather. I had some candles cooling, and I was this morning just testing them out. So yes, like into anything that is good for the heart and good for the body is art, but it's also essential, and that is Breathe. Yeah, definitely.
So I normally go into a few segments with our dancers, and I ask the guys, well, guys and girls, what's in your dance bag? Now, for guys, it's a little different because men just pull up to class, probably, I guess, because you do like pasa, you don't even got dance clothes, you wear your jeans, you come normal. It's actually a fashion statement to come to like a dance rehearsal. I don't know what you guys do, but so I'll ask a little differently. What is in your dancer pack? Like, what should you have when you come in, when you do your hip hop dance? Like, what you think you need to, how you feel you need to look? Like, what's the vibe like when you come into dance in regards to like if you just going to shop and buy like a pack of biscuits?
I think Gio could recognize this when I say style and pattern is just a matter of flair.
Yeah, it's almost like a personal. Yeah, just your personal expression. So, like, when I was dancing, I had to have a pair of Chuck Taylors on.
What's that? What's Chuck
Converse.
Chuck Taylors. I mean, and those things could be bursting out.
You still wear
yeah, all the better, because it shows that you're actually doing something. You ain't, you know, you ain't just walking about styling. So.
And tight pants.
A pair.
You wear tight pants for sure.
I find that you see the moves better, in my opinion, when the clothes are fitted.
Trust, I believe.
You're different.
I am different. Yeah. It was usually just a normal jeans pants and a white tee.
Okay, cool.
For sure.
I definitely remember those Converse.
You
red, blue, green, everything. Me?
Yeah.
Honest,
what's it like in London? How's rehearsals like as artist?
Rehearsals can be very intense.
I mean, in terms of like how you dress.
In terms of how you dress. Well, that's the thing, because I think because we are indie show so much, like even a rehearsal, sometimes you try to like just be yourself even more. Okay. So I think sometimes in rehearsals, people can get a little. You know, you get a little extra. I mean, in my mind, it's not extra, but like now thinking of it, like, you didn't need to wear that, but you did because it makes you feel, you know what I mean? Or you get some new gear and you feel like, I bought it for a rehearsal. This means I'm probably going to wear it.
Right. What's your must-have in your dance bag? Like, what you must-have when you come to the dance rehearsal? If you could remember, since y'all don't dance no more.
I still dance. That's not true. So that's not, I know that I don't dance. Maybe I'm not like at it or on it as much as I should. Right. But it's so in me, like it's so there. I actually to the other day I'm saying like I want to dance so much, and I have been. Just I find a creative way to do it.
Okay. All right. When you come to my class.
All right. When it comes to your class. Right? But one thing I definitely have in my bag, let's say water. Okay.
Okay. Yes, as a must-have.
As a must-have. I get very dehydrated.
Okay.
You guys? Foot roller as well.
Foot roller.
A foot roller. And let's just say an extra tank top.
Ooh. Since it's body. Okay.
Definitely.
You guys, like, what's your must-have in your dance bag?
Chucks was the must have.
It's not too detailed. Like really just chucks.
It really wasn't textbook or strict or anything
Y'all
like
don't
that.
drink water, a towel, charger.
Straight adrenaline. Straight adrenaline. We just
What's the
we
name of
just-
your groups back then? You don't
Demolition
group.
Squad was the name
Demolition
of
Squad.
my
Yes.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
a
yeah.
New Era, yeah.
Right.
Praise Academy New Era.
Yes.
We used to have it back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth.
All
back in the
right.
day. Yeah.
Wait, both y'all like won dance fest back then or no?
We won, I believe.
Yeah,
we won
I think
a
y'all
year.
won the year before.
Oh shoot, this
I
is
think
like
that's
Batman
22.
Yeah,
versus
like-
Superman. This rivalry
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
boy.
It was always, but that's the thing. Like, I remember, because of how the crews were. I mean, like breakdancing and hip hop and pasa back in that day was like. I don't know how it is now because I'm a little older, but
Yeah.
it was like extremely huge. So
Yeah.
I remember like at one point in time there was something called Praise Zone that used to be in
Oh,
town,
gosh.
and all the guys used to come down there and we'd be clashing like. I mean, from 8 straight till 2 o'clock
What?
in the morning,
Where was
and
they?
you're just dancing,
Okay.
dripping in sweat, and it was just a vibe. So, like when it came to competition time, when we would have to, battle against each other, you would always wonder, all right, what Demolition coming with, like what extra hip coming with,
Right,
what
right.
these people coming with. But it was always a camaraderie. So when we saw each other, backstage, we'd be like. All the best out there, make sure we're gonna go and kill it. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was always that kind of vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
You remember that,
Good times,
Kevon?
definitely good
It was a
times.
cool vibe, man. Praise Academy, that was Praise Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I still spend time with Dan Jamal.
Okay.
She's
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the studio. We getting our one.
Right.
And Dan is somebody else that
That's
was
a
started as a dancer, and now he's
but
like a
no
videographer. Yeah.
videographer. Oh yeah, shoot. Okay,
Interesting.
so we're gonna go into the next segment. I mean, like we could go on about this, and it's called a quote pull. I don't normally have a basket, but you could use my hand, and you guys could pull a quote.
I feel like it got locked there for some reason.
Yes, use a quote, pull a quote.
I could
Okay.
look.
I hope this insane that
Don't
will
open
make
it
me.
yet.
Well, this is
All
the
right,
last
so for me, By 25 brand is more than just, coming to dance. It's all about the feeling and how dance makes you feel. And I always say, like, lose your mind, come to your senses, forget what's happening around you, and just dance. So I think that when dancers or artists get a chance to express themselves through dance, then you understand where it's coming from. So I want you to read. You can read it now. And you can relate this back to either dance or your field of art or what you're doing. Think about it a little bit. You can read it out twice, slowly, and then tell me how it makes you feel. This is the coach now. This is the psychologist coach now. We get to air our feelings
Start
here.
crying.
Yes. You got it?
Yeah.
All right, let's go, DuWayne.
Okay, so dancing with your feet is one thing, but dancing with your heart is another.
Ooh, go again.
Dancing with your feet is one thing, but dancing with your heart is another.
That one deep.
Go right ahead.
That's, so deep. Just pull me out, someone, please. Honestly, I feel that this has been, I think, I don't want to say my struggle, but my struggle growing up. I think as creators, you tend to compare yourself a lot because we are hard on ourselves. So
Okay.
comparison is kind of easy. But for me, I always used to be like, I feel like I should have this opportunity, or I should have this chance. But I'm not here. Or, there have people who dancing with their feet, but I'm here with my heart. My heart is so here. And I know my heart alone is going to get me way further. But some people just, got the physicalities and I have this and I have that. And it got, in a bad way, it got me to a place where, you see less of yourself and you don't realize what you can do. So I think for me now, a lot of what I do is from the flip side of that, where I don't know how to not do something with my heart. But
Right.
because I've taught myself and learned the physical aspect of it with my feet, it's like, okay, so I could do both now. And I feel a lot more balanced. It's not about being like 100 at everything or being the best at every single thing you do. But I feel it's about applying both physical, emotional, spiritual, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that is where I feel like us as creatives are really at. Like that's our energy field. You know what I mean? So
For real.
I live by this right now.
Just to touch on what DuWayne was saying, like I feel like times when you would see dancers, there would be people that would be technically sound, that would know, okay, this is
Where the fuck go?
yeah, exactly. And then there are those people that they just dance with their heart, and you don't necessarily. I think the difference is you see the technical things, but then you feel the heart. So when somebody comes up there and they dance with their whole heart, it's just like it just hit you different. It just hit you different.
It totally got that.
Yeah.
Cool. So you go now.
So mine is do it with passion or not at all. Yeah, do it with passion or not at all. How does that relate to me? I think that, as artists, we often feel the need to find avenues to, like, back to something that Kevon was saying when he was talking about being a starving artist. So sometimes you will find an avenue that you're not passionate about, but because what you love does not necessarily produce the money, you need to kind of like suck it up and do it. But if you really, really love your art and you want your art to work for you, then you need to have passion about it. The same way doctors have passion about medicine, the same way how engineers have passion about whatever engineers do. I think artists need to.
Engineers
I get
That's
you.
a very good question.
They're probably so offended.
Just
anyway.
engineer stuff.
Yeah, for artists to be passionate about what they do, it's is all this or nothing. So sometimes I feel like artists, because of how we're raised. So, well, I was raised slightly differently. So when it came up, like my whole household is artistic. So
Your mom and dad are so cool.
exactly,
They're lovers.
So being in the field of the arts was always an option. But some people would come up and, art would just be a hobby. So you could do that after school. You could do this when you get home, but you need to get a job, or you need to get a real job. That's what I like to hear. You need to get a real job. Yeah, exactly. So I remember, like, sometimes I would tell people would ask me what I do now, or people that I would see that I went to school with. I'm like, I'm a graphic designer. Oh, okay. and we would be at a bar, we'd be talking, they'd be drinking Deputy, and they don't know that I design the label. And I'm just like, like, everything that you can think about is design. Everything you can think about is art. And people say the earth without art is air. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Empty.
It's empty. It's just
is EH.
EEH. Yeah, it's true.
Totally agree.
Go ahead, love.
Right, to touch on that, I think passion is very important, and it's something that you definitely can't erase or omit or cut out. For someone who isn't a creative that say you need to find a real job, it's easy for them to say that. But honestly, if you don't do something that you were built for, you're lying to yourself. You're never going to find fun in anything else.
Yeah.
You'll be living, but you'll be dead inside. And that's something that I know my parents, for one, could not understand, that I would want to choose art as an occupation. Like, it was almost like all the good things that they could be out there wanted to be an artist. And they couldn't understand why he wanted to be an artist. But I couldn't drift away from it. So, I had a different mindset, though. When they say find a real job, I was like, I'm already, at my real job. I just have to work at it. And I kind of had a bittersweet relationship with a lot of people, including my parents, because I would not do what they wanted me to do. Right? And I made it upon myself was I didn't need a second option because this art thing was never going to fail for me. So I stuck at it, and I used all those negative comments to actually power myself. So, like, I'm going to do this. And then when I show you that I'm doing this, I'm gonna help you do it as well.
So they save our money.
Yeah. If you need help, because I understood that it wasn't only for me, because there are a lot of people out there who are, having those same challenges, and if they could see me do it, or if I can experience someone else doing it, we can help build each other. And if I create a platform that I can use as leverage to help people that grew up feeling how I did, then why not? So, you know, I understand when you say do it with passion or not at all, because you cannot cut out passion. You cannot.
On a tangent, slight tangent, like, I feel like when I hear most of us speak, it's almost like we have a slight chip on our shoulder. Like, we're not going to find out. Y'all think that is like another part of the inspiration that, I don't want to say that you're trying to prove people wrong or you're trying to prove.
No, we're trying to prove people wrong.
Straight
up.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't even need to look at the camera and say, like,
That's actually funny because I was having a conversation last night, you know, and I was just saying, you know, like, I feel like there's so many things that I used in my mind, in my head, in my journey to get me to where I am, whether it was what people said to me, whether it was about my weight, or things that I can or can't do. And it got me to where I am today. I think the line needs to be drawn though when you start to become that very energy that you were running away from.
Exactly.
I feel like for me,
Lord, drop those gems. Drop it.
no, because for me, because it is true, because you start to realize this is what I've been using to get me to this place, but now I got here, I'm still holding on to it.
You need to
let that go.
And
that's like an entire new phase of the evolution, to be honest. So I agree totally.
Oh, that was good.
All right, so my question is, dance accepts me. And it kind of branch off into what I'm saying is because something that you're built for doing makes you feel complete. Like, I could remember the days where I didn't feel good at all mentally, and I would just like dance. You know, it would be my friend. It may sound weird, but it would be my friend. The moment that I spend with myself dancing kind of did this whole therapeutic job for me.
Exactly.
And I didn't feel like I had to fight it like I was fighting other people. You know, like, it was just a real friendly one-off, and everything I wanted to feel peaceful again. That is something that I would do. And I realized then that it is truly a form of expressing yourself. And I could understand why people would dance with a heart, because you know, if it makes you feel that way, then why not? But I would expand on that. And I know this is about dance, but I would say, like, creative on the whole, whatever your passion is, you know, it definitely makes you feel like you are not built to do anything else. Because I remember coming up when the funds wasn't flowing as usual, you know, and I still have the sense that this was for me and nothing else. I still feel whole and complete, even though certain aspects in people's mind you know, wasn't there. I still feel complete in it and content.
And I think that's something that I guess people looking on don't necessarily understand or look at differently, because, like, in life, everything is a journey. When you become a lawyer, you don't land every single client on island and go and buy a big car, big house, and you living it up. You know, you have to work your way up. So in the same way, artists have to do the same thing. We work at our craft the
This
same
takes a
way.
little longer, but
Exactly. So we need the same time. We need the same patience. We need the same grace. And when we perfect our art, you know, it is noticeable. So the reason people have a family doctor is because people have come to trust this particular person and going to them over the years. So, you know, people could have a family painter. Companies could have an artist that they go to get paintings for their companies,
or
for
go
their
to
office.
one graphic designer
Or go
because
to
they know
one
the
graphic
quality that
designer.
they'll get.
Exactly. Go to one. I mean, art, there's so many different art forms. And to me, you know, everything is a journey. So once you start, as Kevon said, and you need to start somewhere. And I think most of the time that's the hardest part, to believe in yourself enough to say, all right, I can, you know, put all this to the side, and I can decide, all right, I can focus on this. And no matter how long it takes, I could be 20, I could be 16, I could be 40, and I now realize that I always wanted to be an artist. And I said,
you can do it.
I can start now.
True.
Awesome. Okay, so, loving the conversation so far, and it's going on so many different ways. It's going so many different paths. I love that. But since I have all guys here today, and I actually never realized, I was just thinking about the actual artist, but I want to expand on men in dance a little more. And this particular episode got like so many different reviews and a lot of dance group chats. I know y'all talking. I can hear, I can see. You know what's going on. You ain't gotta tell me, but you know. But since I have 3 different men here, I would like to ask you guys, why did you choose dance in the first place as men in the Caribbean? And I guess you guys are like on the pasta side. And before we filmed, I was talking to Kevon, and he was telling me, like, you know, he was got the girls and stuff like that. But why you chose dance as a man, and then why did you go on to something else? Like, why you didn't keep dancing? Was it because, you know, people were questioning your sexual orientation or your sexuality? Like, why? Or it just wasn't, it just fades out? Like, why? So go right ahead. Tell me, why did you choose dance first?
I feel like dance chose me. One. Yeah, I was dancing from as young as I can remember. I think it was like from the first time I can remember dancing was like 7 years old, and I don't know where I got it from. I don't know what I saw that, but I remember I started dancing. I wanted to moonwalk, and a lot of the things that I told my parents I can do, I never saw anybody else that would just tell them,
yeah, I can move on today.
Yeah, I want to do this. So I started dancing like from as young as 7, and you know, I would come up through primary school. It was weird dancing back then because that's all I knew. I used to watch like old Ozone and Turbo tapes, Michael Jackson tapes, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And people would be in the dance hall, like just jucking down, and I did in the corner, waving and popping and locking. So it was kind of weird. The people used to be like, "What are you doing, bro?" Anyway, so I got to secondary school, and
that's so true. That was back then.
Back then, yeah, exactly. So I got to secondary school, and things started to heat up. Funny enough, in Jamaica. And, you know, Barbados, we like to copy stuff. Anyways, so things started to heat up in Jamaica with Pasa.
Like ding dong and people.
Yeah, with ding dong and those kind of things. So that kind of started to, you know, blow through the whole Caribbean.
Yeah.
Eventually I got to Barbados, and, you know, I really loved dancing, so I started to pick it up as well, you know, watching the videos on BET and on, what was the Caribbean station? Tempo?
Tempo and Boom.
And Boom Tribe.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Boom Tribe.
Yeah, so I would be watching dance and, you know, just catching on to different things. And I remember in third form to pick up on what Kevon said about getting the girls. I remember in third form, there was a dance competition at school. And there was this guy in fifth form. He was supposed to be the school's best dancer. And I was like, yeah. And I had to clash against him. So everybody was like, you Sergio, you getting mashed up. And
what school you went to? What school?
St. Michael's.
Oh, St. Michael's.
Best school ever.
Okay.
And
So that's
Just let them have it.
Yeah, okay.
We know our place.
yeah, my wife's from Foundation. So
Yeah.
So we had to clash on the stage in the school hall. And I ended up winning the dance battle. And I won a cell phone. My first cell phone, I won there. And I remember from then, like...
You take the throne, you the best dancer.
People just knew me. So people knew me in the school as the fella that's the hard man in the school. So yeah, it was always that kind of thing. And you know, even back in the day when, you know, Justin Ward was dancing, Randy Nelson, Kermit. Yeah. So those were like if those people come to your school, it was like, hide your girl, because you know, that's the type of thing that dancing did. I feel like I'm being very long-winded. But anyways, I eventually, you know, I continued dancing. I won my school pageant. I entered the inter-school pageant at the time. And then I went on to Dance Fest and that kind of stuff. And dancing was always a part of me. I actually tried different forms of dancing because I felt like, I guess, as a creative,
You got bored of that
yeah,
same
I got
thing.
bored of doing the same thing. But I will say I felt pressure and kind of, I felt that people would look at me differently, like if I was on stage doing modern.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
you know, I would admire, like, if I see, when I see people like Justin dancing, my friend Renee Blackman, when I see
love
him,
Renee,
when I see
yes.
him dancing, I was
Renee's
like,
a great hip hop dancer though.
as
He can
well,
do both.
and he can do so many different things, and I was
Yeah.
like, shh, like I feel like I could do this too.
Yeah.
And I remember I took a few ballet classes with Jarly, and
It just don't work out.
I
It just wasn't for
I
you.
just didn't feel it. It didn't feel, I guess because of the stigma attached to it, and it's not like there were a ton of guys in the ballet class. I was like the only guy.
Or I was about to say there. No guys in the ballet class.
I was at Praise Academy. I was in a male dance group. So all
Well,
of
Barry was in that group too, right?
yeah, all of my friends were dancing hip hop, and here I go trying to try
Ballet.
ballet, and they're like,
What are you doing, dude?
right? So, I think I kind of let that get to me. Not saying that I regret it necessarily, because I didn't go into dancing. I don't know where it would be now. I don't know what would have happened, but the road that I took, I am here now, so I don't regret it. But I think that
What you think it feels though? Like, what was it? Was it that, dance got less popular, or you just got bored, or you just wanted to whet the appetite and more stuff? Like, what you wanted to do?
I think I just wanted to whet my appetite, and because I'm talented in different areas, I guess it's easy to get bored. So it's always like on to the next thing, or like what's the next thing that I could try. So even
So you think you can get bored of graphic designing then?
well, now that I've grown and I've learned that you don't necessarily need to just push it one side. You learn how to diversify. So I was like, let me try like a t-shirt brand.
T-shirt brand. Okay,
Or
nice.
let me try designing furniture, which I started trying to do.
Wow.
Because my dad is he does wrought iron, so
Okay.
we've been trying to decide if we could
Went to
kind
that
of like
business.
collaborate and
Okay.
create furniture and that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Cool.
It's beautiful. Yes.
So the question again, if I get asked two of you, that was great. Is why you started dancing, and why have you stopped, or why you branched out into something else?
As profound as it may sound to say about dancing chose me, I was actually, they want to be like, Lord, teach me how to dance. Every night I was like, teach me how to dance, just teach me how to dance.
Well, you're such a good dancer,
Yeah,
though.
because I could not dance to save my life.
God
It
taught
was
you.
so difficult
So
for
like,
me.
how then?
And I just used to pray, Lord, teach me how to dance.
Sorry, come true.
This
But
one
I
you come all the way
realized that
through.
it was a payoff in the end, because if the Lord give me something, I have to give him back something. So my
Yeah.
first picture was like, okay, so when you teach me how to dance, I can just like do good things with dancing. And that's why like Dance Fest, we have like positive messages in our
Oh,
performances.
yeah, it's true.
So I could not dance when I started, but I love how free it was in terms of expressing.
I want to know how you
So-
get her dance then. Like, how you get her dance? You just practice it
Just
often
practice
and talk to
day
God
and
all the
night
time.
and day
He's a
and night,
creative.
you know.
Yeah.
Like,
It will come eventually.
dance.
You
obsessed, man.
understand?
Okay, it's talk to you. Okay,
Right.
cool.
So it was through having fun that I got really good at it. But it was always the fun aspect.
Okay.
Like even if someone said, "Well, he really can't dance," I was having the most fun in the room for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Until it become that cool guy. I mean, I never want a cell phone or anything.
You want the girls though? Yeah.
I want some attention, you know. But the reason I would say I stopped dancing, well, professionally, is because of my entrepreneurial mindset. I had a group that wasn't there with me on that wavelength. So it was very hard to push in certain directions because it was like a tug of war. But when I realized art, I only answered to myself, really. And I said, well, it's easy for me to move forward in this direction.
Yeah.
But life took it in such a way now that I have enough leverage that I can resurrect those days. Like at our last PM Splash, I was actually part of a dance performance.
Yes.
So we got together like the old squad, and we came back. And, you know, with a more mature mindset, you can see things clearly. I mean, there's still interested in girls and stuff, but mature mindset that we can, you know, do this thing for real. And I'm more like a manager type to the guys now, but of course at practice I would get in there with my Chuck Taylors, and I would do my thing,
moves.
and my one water bottle in my dancer pack. I would do my thing.
Awesome.
Dancing would always be a part of me, to be honest. I can't stop. But I have this idea to merge art and dancing in video, so I'm working on that at the moment.
Good idea.
So, you know, everything is back now in full effect. Yeah.
Nice. Well, you honestly took it over my mouth. Dance shows me, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. When did I choose? When did I choose to dance? It was such a weird time. Sometimes I feel like my life is like predestined sometimes. I'm like, things happen, I'm like, oh, wait, this is happening, you know? Maybe I chose, but like, at some points, you know, I'm like, did I actually choose, or was it just simultaneous? Like, as you said. So I chose dance, but dance also chose me. I actually started out doing ballet at Barbados Dance Theatre.
Did you start with Mr. Chapman?
I started out with ballet first.
Okay.
And then I moved over. So 7, 8 years old, chubby guy doing ballet. I'm the only guy in the ballet class. So I think that in the first instance just made me... Imagine me at the bar, yes. I'm the only guy. I'm like, what is actually happening? I can't see myself, you know. I just seen a bunch of other girls. So I think, you know, it kind of, at that age, even though I was able to get into the studio and even wear tights, I think the stigma attached to it still got me a bit. But again, I feel like I was just running away from myself, to be honest. And I switched to West African. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do something more rough, you know. I never saw myself doing paso paso. Even to this day when I do it, I always laugh at myself. I'm like, I don't know.
There's a certain swag about paso
you know what I
that
mean?
you just got. You know?
And I got a swag, but my swag is very...
Bro, try the prayer thing.
Try the prayer thing. I
just answer it.
No, honestly,
it works.
I honestly believe it would work. To be
It
honest.
works. Trust me.
So I went on to do West African dance. It was a Tyrone, Acno Generation. That was Sasha,
Nandi.
They know at that point Dana's in the US now, and it was Carl. I don't know where's Carl. And
Carl drum.
Sometimes, but he also used to dance.
Okay.
But yeah, and then I also was at Praise Academy as well. Just hopping all over the place for like, I was spending like 2 years doing something. Actually, Tyrone was there like a long while, because I remember we used to travel back and forth, St. Lucia, Thanksgiving and stuff. So I always was in the West African, like, you know, I always used to be in that circle, but I always would try to branch out, and I did like the Praise. I was with Praise for a while, and then I moved and it was with Dance Strides. But I think growing up for me, as a dancer, it was just always hard because I always saw myself doing so many other things. I felt like, oh, maybe time is getting ahead of me. I felt like I'm not in a position like someone else, so I need to like work for this, you know? And I put in so much effort in this right now, and I want to do this and this. Oh, and I could do that too. Shit, I just do that in my sleep, so I could probably do that as well. So, you know, it was a bit hard. And then on top of that, I feel like just me running away from myself, my sexuality, my spirituality, my masculinity as well. I think me not wanting to accept that was DuWayne also made it very hard for me to just express myself, because at the end of the day, dance is about expression. And if you can't be honest to yourself, you either find a really good way to mask it or it shows up.
Where did you find your talent in music? Because, I mean, it's so hard to say, I can be a singer today. Like, singing is a talent that not everybody could get. So where did you pick that up along the way of dancing? Like, when did you figure it out? At school, you used to sing in the choir at school, not true?
Yeah, but...
We used to be in the band at Foundation School Band.
Definitely. I was very active at Foundation. My music life, though, started, it was very interesting, because when I was a baby, I had really bad adenoids.
Okay.
So, like, I was, I think, 75% deaf in both of my ears.
Wow.
So, like, for a good while, you know, I wasn't responding So I should start to be saying things already, you know, like da tutu. Or if my mom calls me, I should be responding to my name by now. But at the time, I wasn't. Until they realized that I had an issue with my ears. Got that dealt with. I remember the day after the surgery, I went back home. And there was this guy who lives across the street from me. He was playing music. But for some reason, he has his bass extremely loud. Like, it's just so loud.
And big stereos.
And that was the
Caribbean
first,
like that, yeah.
I'm telling you, that was the first day that I actually started to, like, my body started to pulse to the music. And I feel like sometimes when my mother reminds me of a story, I feel like that was when the universe said, whatever it was that was stopping you from getting what you were supposed to get, that was the universe just clearing it. And God said, here is it. Boom. And I felt the bass, I felt that frequency, and since then, I have loved music all my life. So even though I've been dancing all the time, I would also be singing like in the choir, or I would be at home, or just, I think a lot of the times I would do a lot of stuff in my space, but singing for me came so, I don't want to say natural because I had to learn as well, but it was something that it was always there, or I always used to try to figure it out. And through me figuring out my voice, I found my own voice, you know, and I'm able to then, like, interestingly hear a sound and see movement, or see movement and get a sound, not a song, just a song, but a sound. That movement that you're doing, babes, it sounds like, F sharp. That was a slight G, okay?
Okay. Nice. That's a talent there.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a whole realization too, you know, because I think my battles with self and just wanting to be accepted a certain way and not seeing other people like me, you know, who dress a certain way or carry themselves a certain way, or would be say, you know, I'm a multi-dimensional being. I am divine. You know, I am like, that is what I needed to see. And I think, again, going back to, like, even breathe and everything, that's why for me, art, I always find the alignment with the spiritual, because, again, you said you prayed and it happened, right? Well, I'm telling you, I prayed and it also happened.
Amen.
That is why, for me, I don't know how to not give back what is good and what is positive. So, yeah.
Awesome. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to leave on one more question, and it is also on men in dance, but there's a common thread between all three of you that I've been listening to, and that's spirituality. How has being a male, being an artist, being a dancer, and being spiritual affect you in any of your decisions going forward in art? And that's just a random question that just came up in my
Being
head.
a male, being a dancer,
Being spiritual.
Spiritual.
Not everybody prays.
Yeah.
Not everybody hears the answer from God.
right?
So I guess that's something that you would have had in your family life that, you know, built up to have that spiritual connection with whatever. So how do you deal with it? Is it something weird, like if you're in a group with people and I'm like, yo, just pray, and people like, pray about what? Like, you know what I mean? So how do you deal with that, making decisions and choosing different people to work with? Because that's another thing too. As an artist, not everybody you want to work with. Not everybody can say yes to. So as a male, as a dancer, as a spiritual person, how do you make decisions going forward?
You're looking at me. So
We all are.
So funny enough, people kind of put you in a box, or put me in a box, because they know I'm a Christian and that I believe in God. And my parents are pastors, so they automatically think, and this is both people, so there's people that aren't Christians and people that are Christians, try to put me in a box.
Okay.
So people that are Christians, I find more back then, you need to do Christian stuff. Like, everything needs to be Christian. So I remember when we did Dance Fest, and I love to tell stories. I love to tell stories through design, through photography, through film. I love to do it through dance. So it will always be a story that we were trying to tell when we dance. And we did this piece called Unleashed. And I used to do the mixing for the group. And I put in Gnarls Bartley, Crazy, and Sean Kingston, Suicidal.
Oh, Lord.
And the first time that I played, they were like, what? But to me, when you're in tune with with God, and this is what I believe. When you're in tune with God, like, and He's using you, whatever you can use or whatever you can touch can speak to somebody. So it doesn't matter if I do artwork for John Yard or if I do artwork for Teddy Rhymes and Marshall Montano. One talking about stink behavior, one talking about Jesus. What I am, my art is not necessarily what is going to, from the Christian perspective, save them or introduce them to God. It's my relationship.
Exactly.
So I would tell this to a lot of people. I would say, I have a few friends, but I feel like a lot of my close clients become, I don't want to say become friends necessarily, because it's still, it's still business, but they know that they could talk to me about certain things, or there's a trust there. So the relationship that I have with some of the members from 2 Mile Hill, or with Paula, or people people in corporate companies that I do work with, that they know that I have a type of personality that is what,
Separates you from other people?
Yeah, so it isn't the
faith.
It isn't. See, the faith isn't something that you put on a morning
And then take off.
and then you take off at night, and
You live it.
people. That is who I am. So
Okay.
if you see me at Raw Soul Shop Lime, I'm
Right.
still a Christian.
Okay.
If you see me on Crop Over There, I'm still a Christian. If you see me at a fat, I am still a Christian. I am not. We all have struggles. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but who I am is all of that wrapped up in one. So I'm an artist.
Exactly.
That's a Christian. That's a man. It's that simple. It isn't
Ain't that complex.
It's not that
Okay.
complex. It's not that complex. It's just
We make it
and
complex.
those three things. Those three things interweaving with each other make what I do unique.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
How's praying going for you, Kevin? Does anybody else around you, like the guys in PM Splash, understand that? Or do you express that amongst each other? Are you spiritual in any way? How do you make decisions?
Well, I would say I'm very spiritual. I talk to God every single day. When I wake up, when I go to sleep, when I'm driving, anytime I have to talk to a friend and a father. Every time I started painting, to be honest, I would pray. And that's Lord, help me understand the process and help me grow. That I may best put something out there that's
Something
beautiful.
came to my mind just now. I remember we went for something to eat. You prayed. You remember that?
Yes.
I was like, what he
I still do that.
I
still do that.
Bitch, fat and he praying. So it's like, okay, cool.
But
You better be grateful.
right. It's not people say, well, Jesus freak or something like that. It's not me sure. It's just me being thankful. And I have no kind of shame in that. Like
Exactly.
I would just close my eyes and I would pray, especially knowing where it came from, how good the Lord has been to me.
Yeah.
And anyone who truly accepts that, have no fear of other people seeing me embrace that.
Yeah.
Because if I ever shut that down and pretend that that isn't part of me, I'm lying to myself straight off the bat. I'm not doing that for anyone, right? And I find that I am able to merge that, kind of like what you were saying. If they see you like a bar and something, you question like, why would you be there? But you may find that you may help someone spiritual or just heal. You don't have to tell them about Jesus, but you can tell them about his ways and what is right from what's wrong, and you can help someone. And, that was a bar. But, those are the people that need help most of all, and guidance.
Yeah.
So, everyone has their purpose, and I believe that God all works through us one way or the next. And you have to listen to it.
Definitely.
Like he's not going to work through us the same way. And that's why it's very important. That's why it's very strong, and that's why it works. It's because he's able to touch different areas by using different people.
Yeah.
Right?
And
So That's my say on that.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love
me
that.
too. Yeah, definitely. And I can relate 1,000. Sorry. Yes, definitely. And I can relate 1,000 because I too am a very spiritual person. I feel like the only way I've gotten to where I am today is because of my groundedness in God. But what has also really enhanced that was me taking it to the next level and realizing that it's not just about reading a book.
Right.
As you said, it's about the relationship. You know, it's about the experience. But it's also about accepting all of what is God.
Yes.
And I found growing up, like, for me, I struggled a lot with, I always used to have these very vast, like, concepts, you know what I mean? And I'm in church some days and I'm like, am I the only one? Why is no one else mind going here? You know what I mean? And it got me to a place where at first I thought it was like, oh, you're trying to push the bounds too much. You know, I'm just like, no, I actually, personally, I'm trying to accept what is God, but is actually being shut off for me in my experience. And then on top of that, my sexuality as well didn't make it any better. Okay, it didn't make it any better because that is something that is obviously a lot of people still don't really understand, and they don't want to because they don't want to just dive into it. But all my life, that has been the biggest struggle for me in terms of wanting to be the spiritual person that I am and living that life, but feeling like maybe you know, my art or who I am might suffer because of what I was calling my spiritual side, or maybe my spiritual side might suffer because of, you know, my art or where I'm at or who I'm with. But interestingly,
That's good though. I think that's good.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Interestingly,
it's
that's good to cut.
Yeah.
Oh, she's cutting me, guys. After cheer, yeah.
3 more minutes left.
Speak for 20 minutes. That's good, guys. That's good.
Yeah, so we only got 3 more minutes
That's
left.
the jokes.
I love that we ended off with God in some type of
Definitely.
way. It's amazing.
Better end with God.
So guys, thank you so much for being here. Can't wait for you guys to see what they're about to release to you, and wishing you, please be better, please be good artists, please be
Yes.
yeah. So putting out into
Blessings.
the universe. It's December 2020, and I'm wishing you many blessings in 2021. There's gonna be no corona in 2021, January
Listen,
1st.
you're healthy, strong.
Yes. Sending you all good blessings. Thank you guys for
Same to
coming
you.
out today.
Thank you.
And just push dance a little bit more, guys. If you can in any way, as males and as artists, and just, you know, try to work with each other in any different way. So
Definitely,
thank you
sure.
guys. What do you think we should talk about next?
That's enough.
All right, that's fine. That's fine.
Salty.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so thank you guys. That's a wrap. Give yourself a clap.
Thank you.
Yes.
Awesome.
Blessings.
Blessings.